One. What up, folks? Once again, it is indeed your boy Tim, the handsome liberal. Happy Tuesday to you. Yet another warm Tuesday. I guess I have to be letting the air condition fly occasionally today. So, what we're going to be talking about is the obvious elephant in the political room. President Biden looks like we'll be allowing as many as up to as potentially a million immigrants. Some would estimate. Probably that's more of um a liberal estimate. I would assume. What the hell's going on? You guys, for instance, on the TikTok side, let me know if the live's having any issue because it constantly keeps saying resume. But the issue we're going to be discussing is that Biden is likely to be allowing as many as 1 million undocumented residents to remain in this country, up to 1 million, depending on who you ask. Simply put, as long as you are married to an American citizen, and I suppose, with emphasis on suppose, I suppose if you don't have a criminal record, you'll be allowed to stay or you'll be granted a path towards residency. This is what Biden has used his executive powers to make happen, I believe today as we speak. Now, we're going to be asking the question right off the bat. First of all, was that a good thing? Do you support Biden allowing undocumented residents in this country, folks that may have even come here illegally, to stay if they are married to another American? Now, the reason I'm bringing that up is because a lot of folks might suggest that by doing that, he has promoted folks to come here illegally. He's allowed folks live on the TikTok side because I don't see any of the comments and things coming across. Okay, there we go. Shut up, Uncle Tom. Okay, there we go. So one person is commenting. I guess the comments does work. I don't know what's happening with the comment section, but we're asking not only does it help President Biden in terms with, and I thank you for that. I would block me too. Appreciate that test comment. We're asking, do you believe this will help President Biden with the Hispanic vote? A lot of polls show that Biden was not doing well, or better yet, is not doing well with the Hispanic voting population. So by allowing as many as 1 million undocumented residents to stay in this country, do you believe that will help him out come election day among Hispanics? Now, I'm a little hesitant. Yeah, thank you, Gen Xer, for the hat and mustache. Appreciate that. I'm slightly hesitant to suggest that Biden has let illegals stay in this country. Not that I'm trying to defend Biden or not that I'm trying to be a bleeding heart, politically correct liberal. But the fact is, a lot of these folks that will be allowed to stay were able to plead asylum because Biden changed the law to some degree to allow them to be able to plead asylum here in America as opposed to the whole remain in Mexico thing that Trump had structured. So they're not all here illegally. They're undocumented, but they're not here illegally. So what I want to ask you, though, is do you believe what Biden did is going to help him out with the Hispanic vote that the polls routinely say he is not doing very well with? Now, in addition to the whole Biden allowing folks to stay, I don't know if they call it amnesty or what they're going to refer to it as, but as long as you are married to an American, and I think there's a small length of time you had to be here, but you do get to stay. You are allowed to cut the line. You didn't come here the legal way, none of that. You pretty much came here, and they've since Biden's kind of changing the rules to your favor to allow you to potentially stay. So when folks say come the legal way, I got to be the first one to say there's not a lot of incentives to come the legal way when so many people have came other ways and they get to stay. So that's the first thing. But what we're also going to talk about before I go to the box and start taking some of you folks in is Trump went to Detroit as many of you know, and spoke at what was supposedly a black church. And actual quote, because it leads to a question to be asked. Now, he stated, we're going to seal the border and stop the invasion of your jobs. Now, remember, and by the way, Evan, thank you for the subscription extension. By the way, folks, tap the screen. The viewership is really low. I think it's because of the folks only tap the screen on 1,000 likes. Get the likes up to about 10,000. You know how the program runs, so certainly tap the screen. Okay, President Trump stated, we're going to seal the border and stop the invasion of your jobs. Now, we know he's already called folks coming in the country an invasion, but generally he was saying it was an invasion from a criminal standpoint, where they were coming to harm people, potentially commit acts of terror. But now he's also saying it's an invasion of your jobs. In addition to that, here's another quote from him I want to discuss with you folks. He said people routinely come up to him, suggesting that these folks are African American that routinely come up to Trump. He stated, they say, we want protection. We want police to protect us. We don't want to get robbed and mugged and beat up or killed because we want to walk across the street to buy a loaf of bread. So I want to ask you guys flat out, you believe African Americans are walking and demanding he allow the police to protect them? That African Americans, pro-police African Americans, are demanding Trump protect them by way of the police? Because this is an actual quote. We want protection. We want police to protect us. We don't want to get robbed and mugged and beat up or killed because we want to walk across the street to buy a loaf of bread. That's an actual quote. I wrote it down word for word. Do you believe African Americans are walking up to Trump and saying things like that? That is the topic of today's show. You know how it works. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone. As always, the program is and shall forever remain MAGA friendly. MAGA are always my preferred guests. Nevertheless, liberals are welcome as well. We go left of Bernie Sanders to him having dinner with QAnon. We make it work. It is a civilized program featuring dialogue from all sides of the aisle. By the way, tap the screen. Get the likes on up to 10,000. Certainly want to help out the algorithm, brings in more MAGA. You know how the program works. So going straight to the comments, someone said that is a really stupid topic, says Dark Frank. An actual quote from a presidential contender, one of the first Republicans in recent history running for president to go to a black church, which I believe is actually something that Trump deserves credit for. A lot of Republicans don't go to the hood at all. In fact, some people at the gathering pointed out Biden didn't come to the hood. I think they even said Obama didn't come to the hood, which is flat out false. But anyhow, Trump is in the hood, a black Republican contender showing up in a black neighborhood. In my opinion, it's good shit. So why the hell would it be a stupid topic to cover what he said? Just want to point that out, Dark Frank, in the comments. How many times will Biden freeze up during the debate? Interesting question, Ma. I tell you one thing, he better freeze up at least twice. Otherwise, a hell of a lot of MAGA are going to look stupid as hell. As I state all the time, he better come out there looking like or sounding like Ozzy Osbourne and walking like Michael J. Fox. If he comes out there looking dignified and sounds all right, it's not going to be a good day for MAGA. Going back to the box, appreciate you folks that are already tuning in. The tapping of the screen, the participation is really low today. I can't get 10,000 likes out of you folks. What the hell? Going straight to the box, we will go to Andy. Good afternoon, Andy. Welcome to the program. Latinos for Trump 2024. David, you would have been the guy to talk to. We're asking that question. Andy, good afternoon. Okay, let me turn my volume.
That's hilarious.
You don't see African Americans asking Trump for police protection.
No. Like my friends don't even talk to the police. What are you talking about?
Well,
like, no. Look, you don't call the cops in that neighborhood. Fuck no. And they don't want him in the neighborhood. They're over policing, and then they get the sentence disparaged, and then that's how we get the prison problem. Yeah. Hell no, they ain't asking for that shit.
Well, he did. I mean, his mind. You did have African Americans sitting beside him that started applauding when he said it, though.
What those people from what was it? What is that? Charlie Kirk's what do you call it? Do you know Charlie Kirk's
I don't get what you're saying.
The right that it's a Christian wing of the right that Charlie Kirk has all the prayers and all the what's it called?
What are you saying? They were implants?
Yeah. Did you see the rest of them? I've been to a black church during a black service. I got news for you. What none of the people that were there then at that church? Yeah. Especially the whitey ball guy. Nope. Nope.
Well, I will say, obviously, I've been to numerous black churches throughout my day, and you don't see a whole lot of diversity in black churches. Not to the level that was there that day when Trump spoke. That it did look odd to see that much diversity in what is referred to as a black church. That looked more like some Joel Osteen.
They don't even know how to sing. They can't get out.
You said they don't know how to sing.
You heard the sing? Wait, have you heard the hymns in white church?
But say
it's bad. Hymns in white church is bad. They ain't got no feeling. They don't have any rhythm. No, just no.
Yeah.
Send them back to where they came from. They don't have any flavor.
All right. But what about the promise that Trump is alluding to, that if he is president, he could bring down crime? He's talking about crime in New York and Chicago all the time and saying
he's full of it. How's he going to handle state by state crime? Huh? Man, that's a state issue.
He is making that promise, though. He is running on a. He is
take away weapons because that's about the only way.
Well, you're
think about it.
You're certainly digging into one there. You're suggesting that taking away weapons would reduce crime?
Well, I can't figure out any other way that Trump's going to do it on federal level.
Yeah. All right.
That's a state-by-state problem.
So let me ask you this, because obviously the second topic is Biden and his immigration changes, allowing folks who are married to Americans to stay in the country even if they're here undocumented. What say you?
Well, that'd be great if he had bothered in 2018 when he got into office for the ones who are serving in the military when they're overseas, if their children that were born overseas while they're serving got to be kids. But Trump made that impossible and made them have to register their children as kids. I guess he's hoping they forgot about that shit.
So, but at the end of the day, do you think this will be good for Biden in terms of Hispanics?
I think it's more good for the country's GDP and economy is what I think.
Why do you think? Wait. Why do you think Biden did it?
Because the way it is now is messed up. Do you remember me telling you about Reagan giving amnesty to 2.8 million?
Yes.
And I told you that he pulled out the laws saying that if you hired them under the table, that would be a problem.
Yeah.
And we're going to fine you. Republicans were like, no, we don't want that part in there. Take that out. So Republicans make ample money off of it. And I'm not going to lie, I don't think the Democrats are squeaky clean in that arena either.
Okay.
But, Dr. Oz had the largest ICE case in U.S. history.
Who?
And Dr. Oz.
You're talking about?
While he was running for senator.
Dr. Oz, the guy running for senator, yeah.
Who ran in Pennsylvania?
Dr. Oz.
Yeah, he had the largest ICE case in U.S. history. His company did while he was running.
Oh wow! So his corporation was hiring immigrants.
Mm-hmm. Undocumented and under the table,
and
they got popped. And see, that's the problem. There's too many people benefiting off of this to fix it. And, it would have been really great if the Republicans had signed that all-comprehensive bill that would have taken care of so much. Then instead they threw a fit over, and now they're really going to throw a fit over this. They think everything's for votes. They don't think anything's for fixing the country.
Yeah, but come on now. You think Biden doing this is not doing it for votes at all? I mean, it's coming right before election day.
There's a problem. And like he came into office with the border bill. We talked about this the other day. It's an issue. And after the pandemic, they knew we were going to have record number of immigrants because finally things were unlocked. And, you know, so I think this is, I think he's doing what Clinton did, though. I think this is a Band-Aid because we couldn't get that bill passed. And until we do, we're going to keep having problems.
I don't know, Andy. I think the guy's playing for Hispanic votes. I really think. I mean, all of this stuff is timed right before election.
You know what? For y'all to tell me how old and decrepit he is, y'all sure do think he's smart and on the ball, don't you?
Yeah. Well, I don't. You raise a good point, and I'm not in that category of saying that he's old and decrepit, but yet he's some kind of mastermind on the other end.
Well, something had to be done at the border, and like I said, it's not like he didn't come in with a border plan. If he hadn't come in with anything, I wouldn't be saying this. I'd probably be giving him hell. But since he did, and Republicans like threw a fit and didn't want to do it, then they tried to impeach Mayorkas, which is like crazy to me. Because then they turned around and go, well, we're going to wait till Trump gets in. That's about the same amount of time that you said Mayorkas waited. They don't make any sense. I like trying to give up on their logic because I can't find any.
Well, you got to understand, they believe that allowing all these folks in this country is putting the whole country in danger. You hear this guy from Ecuador is now all over the news because what did he do? He assaulted a 13-year-old or something like that. That's all over the news now.
Okay, the go look at the immigrant crime rates and see how low they are compared to the rest of the country. I mean, they're like rock bottom at the bottom.
But you know but Andy, you know what they're doing. You know what they're doing.
I'm not saying that some bad ones don't get through. Look at Trump had one come through when he was in office and unalive 4. You know, I'm just saying, no president's immune to that. And to sit there and try to put that all on one president or the other, when literally we've been grappling with this damn border since Reagan did that, and what Clinton did was, I mean, catch and release. That didn't work real well.
Well, I gotta point out while we're discussing the topic, your favorite guy, Gen Xer, says, please keep your crazy ass in the kitchen, Andy. So he certainly maybe believes that you're better off in the kitchen. He doesn't like your politics.
Bow wow wow, yo yay, bow wow wow wow. Tie a pork chop around his neck, see if somebody will play with him.
Oh my God, I've never heard of that. That hurts. All right, well, I do get it moving on. So at the end of the day, though, do you believe Biden did the right thing?
Point this out. Like, everybody thinks everything he does is for votes, but like he's been trying to fix that damn problem. Like, the economy's coming back around, prices are going down. You know what I hear them saying? Well, it's too little, too late. Where's this magic wand they think exists that a president can look at a problem and go, poof, that it don't exist anymore? Please explain that to me.
You don't think he is a little bit too late on some of his executive action on the border? You don't think he could have did that sooner?
Well, you know, it's not like he didn't have COVID coming into the presidency either. Like, we always say COVID was under Trump, but it was under Biden too.
Yeah.
And the country wasn't in that great a shape, and shit was falling to hell. You know, if your house is on fire and you got a water leak, what you gonna fix first?
All right. So he's doing it for the country, not for votes. Am I correct?
Well, I mean, I can't say one way or the other, but I do think that the border's been a problem that like I said, both parties have been working on. I'm not even blaming one or the other. You see, I mean, I'm trying to be very reasonable here. It's that we need to figure out what. Like, if we had put all the money into Mexico that we sent to China, this whole damn continent would be rich.
Some would argue that. All right, Andy, I do appreciate you coming on as always.
I don't know why would they argue that? If we'd have given all that business to Mexico and they built all our stuff instead of China, we wouldn't be beholden to China.
I've mentioned that on a lot of lives. Getting the Mexican and the economy south of the border straight would benefit a lot of us.
Question for you,
real quick.
Have you seen the national news where even his donors are questioning Trump's ability and cognitiveness?
No.
You need to look it up.
Yeah.
This past weekend was so bad. I mean, like, he was going off the rails the way he was holding his mouth. Like all this, like,
we're talking about Trump.
Yep. Go check it out.
Send me
Biden's family has no history of dementia on either side. Trump's father had it, and you have to have a genetic marker to have it. So odds are Biden will never have it. But Trump, like, people were freaking out. Like, the businessmen he did business with walked out going, "What the hell?"
I need to
Watch
see
the
that. That's worthy of discussing. But I do got to move it
I'll
on,
find you a
Andy.
video.
All right. Appreciate you coming through. All right. Looking in the comments, and I see, guess what? Says, I want a semi. I'm assuming you mean a sandwich. Gen X, or you don't kicked off something here. I do. Thank you for the super chat, by the way. Biden is swimming in it. Says, what is that? Says Rolo, swimming in what? Rob, rather. Rob, what is Biden swimming in? Asking that question, do you believe Biden allowing so many undocumented immigrants to stay in this country and pursue residency will help him out with the Hispanic vote? Or do you believe what he did was good for the country, as my last caller was kind of stating? Handsome, what do you think of the relationship of Trump and Kirk? Kirk who? Kirk who? Going back to the box. Continuing on, we'll go to Miss Mo Better, one of my subscribers to the program. Why won't they let other people into the debate? That's what I want to talk about, and why. Hey, go, Miss Mo Better. The reason we don't take, hold on, because a lot of folks say, why you don't have multiple guests in the debate at once? First of all, I can't focus on the conversation when you got multiple people in there. Second of all, it ends up with people talking all over each other. And third, it gets to the point where you don't know who is leading or who is actually controlling the damn conversation. It's just too many folks speaking at once. That's why I don't do that. Miss Mobetter, good afternoon.
And I'm glad you brought that up, because last night I was on that live that you were on. I don't know how you did it.
Exactly.
A whole shit show. Like, we could sing together, but we can't talk together. That means nobody's point is getting across.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like, what are these people talking about? And then you had that disrespectful ass woman on there. I was like, she's being mad disrespectful. You know, for some reason, I don't know if that's her boyfriend, husband, or whatever, but she felt a little empowered.
Yeah. So, anytime I go to a MAGA live, and that's where you generally will find me. I like speaking to MAGA. I like speaking to Republicans, but the name calling and stuff you're talking about, that generally happens. I'm fine with it. I got thick skin, but I do expect it. That generally happens when I go into a MAGA or Republican-based conversation.
That was terrible.
Yeah. Yes, sir. So what do you think about what Biden has done today for as many as potentially 1 million immigrants?
So listen, that right there really has nothing to do with votes, and I want to hear me good.
Really?
That's with them coming over here, getting on the books with a job so they can continue to go to the Federal Reserve for money. Yes.
So it's a money play.
Look, it's a money play. It ain't got no. How you think we keep generating money? We're not printing all this money. We got to go to the Federal Reserve to get this money.
Where are they getting it from?
They need some type of collateral, which is us working, paying taxes and all of that stuff, so they can continue to go get money from the Federal Reserve. It has nothing to do with votes, because even if they are here, they still can't legally vote. Their votes won't count. They can't vote. So that has nothing to do with votes. That's a money ploy.
A lot of MAGA, a lot of Republicans believe there was a hell of a lot of illegals that voted in 2020.
Sure, that's why the insurrection happened on January 6th. That's why, because they believe in foolishness like that, you know.
Insurrection. I was under the impression that was a peaceful protest, according to Trump.
Of course, anything that comes out of his mouth is just a lie.
Damn.
Period. He doesn't know how to tell the truth about things, because that's how he's always lived his life. I'm gonna cheat the taxes. I'm gonna get away with being around pedophiles, and I'm gonna give hush money for sleeping with prostitutes, and I'm just gonna divorce this wife and get me another one. Hey, come on, I mean.
Well, Trump. Just in defense of Trump, he claims he never slept with the porn star you bringing up.
Well, that's not what the jury said.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but he claims the jury.
So they keep saying that it's a governmental thing, but a jury of his peers is who convicted him.
But the jury, according to Trump, 95% of them were Democrats, and they had it in for him from the start.
But they had the option to pick these people. They knew who they were getting in there, so it's not like they had some secret jurors coming to sit on the panel and then they convicted them. No, y'all had the same opportunity to pick whoever you wanted on that panel. If you wasn't comfortable with how you thought these people were running, you had the option to say no.
Well, he did ask for a change of venue because all of the picking pool, he believes most of it was going to be Democrat anyway. So, yeah, I can
pick. They were going to deny that when he asked.
Huh?
He knew they were going to deny it when he asked.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
He likes ruffling people's feathers because that's the kind of control he had on his show, on the what is called Apprentice.
Yes.
He had that kind of control. This is the control that he continued to want to have, using the American people for it.
Yeah. Well, you've picked up another friend on YouTube. Gen Xer basically refers to you as another clueless sandwich maker. I also suggest you should get back to the kitchen. Gen X is not a big friend of females, but I have to address his comment.
Tell him to tell his boyfriend to get his thing out his butt. Shut up. How about that?
Okay. So
yes, I do. I make a mean sandwich. I do.
That's a hell of a sandwich. So let me ask you this, because this is a quote we mentioned earlier in the program that came from Trump when he was at the black church. They keep using the term black church in Detroit. He states that African Americans come up to him, and here's what they say: we want protection. We want police to protect us. We don't want to get robbed and mugged and beat up or killed because we want to walk across the street to buy a loaf of bread. Do you think that the black community in Detroit is really coming to Trump begging for police protection?
It's a sad day to hear them going to Trump, because Trump it's really little he can do as far as that matter when it comes to state levels. They're very limited, believe it or not. The president really doesn't have a lot to do when it comes to state issues. So they have to go to their local politicians and senators and mayors and stuff like that and argue with them about it. Trump is an illusionist. I'm going to give you the illusion that I can help.
Illusionist.
Not knowing in reality that he's not going to do a damn thing. I mean, when they ran for politicians are like salesmen. I'm going to see who gives the best pitch. That's what they do. That's how they get their position on either side.
I don't disagree with you, but that was the reason we put Trump in office, is he was not going to be a typical politician.
Yeah, well, that changed quick, didn't it?
Oh.
He listen, you're not coming into, again, like I said before, you're not coming into a football game as a baseball player. That's not going to happen.
So you see him...
Listen, his money is not as the same as the powers that be's money. He has people that are way bigger than him, that hold more power than him, and it was proven to him. Yeah. It was proven to him right there with Congress. That's why he tried to make everybody such bad and demonic people, because people were shutting him down. You have people that you have to answer to, even being the president of the United States of America. You still have people to answer to.
That is true, but what about the notion that Trump is a genuine patriot that wanted to do what's right for the damn country, and the liberals have never given him a chance from day one? I hear that often. Do you see the possibility that maybe Trump could have been a better leader if he wasn't being hammered so much?
He sank his own ship. He sank his own battleship with his mouth. And out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. The MAGA tried to make everything he said out to be a joke. Oh, no, he didn't mean it that way. Listen, he showed us who he was. And when people show you who they are, you have to believe them. That's what I was taught. That's what I was taught.
Yeah,
right?
Sounds like Maya Angelou. I see Jason Anderson, appreciate the super chat, says Trump 2024. 4.5 months. 4.5 months, Miss Mobetta. You think he can pull it off?
No.
Do you think Biden is the right guy to go up against Trump? 4.5 months.
No. Biden doesn't have enough energy right now.
So can I interest you in a red hat then? So can I interest you in a red hat? It sounds like Trump got it.
Absolutely not. I mean, either way, I'm not voting for Trump. I'm going to vote for Biden. I'm going to vote for Biden. Let that be known.
Okay.
I would never vote for Trump. I wouldn't vote for him.
Do you feel like Biden...
He doesn't have enough moral decency for me.
Oh.
And once you don't have the moral, you will allow anything underneath that to go. You don't care because you have no morals.
Right. Well, before I move it on, I got to part ways with you. But you say the man doesn't have moral decency. They're going to talk about his son, the fact that he raised a crackhead who's now a felon. Do you see Biden as having more moral decency than Trump?
Trump's wife was a mail order bride that posed naked.
That is true. I got the pictures. She's actually pretty good looking naked, but that is true.
Let's knock it off. Like you can't put one up without putting the other one up.
So if you're saying that Trump has no moral character, do you see Biden as somebody who does?
Yes, he has a lot more moral character. At least he did have the decency to take accountability of the things that he did say and apologize.
Fair enough.
Apology could go a long way. Trump has yet to apologize for anything he's done. Oh wait, according to him, he's done nothing.
Yeah, I can't argue with the fact that even in court they listen for remorse. An apology, whether accepted or not, does have value to it. Miss Mobetta, appreciate you coming on. Good talk as usual. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it. Miss Mobetta lets me have it all the time. By the way, tap the screen. Certainly a very, very low amount of participation in here. What the hell am I doing wrong? Or is the app having issues? We should be around 30,000 likes on TikTok. Certainly on YouTube. Appreciate you folks that are showing appreciation. Shit, maybe I need to read more YouTube comments. The TikTok appreciation is just out of whack today. Tap the screen. Let your thumbs not be lazy. This is uncensored programming as it is. Always, Monday through Friday, folks, 1,300 hours, 1 p.m. Central is where you'll find us. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone for their commentary. When we say left of Bernie Sanders to I'm having dinner with QAnon, damn it, we mean it. You don't have to agree with anybody in the comment section. You don't have to agree with the damn host. Nobody's going to limit or censor you because you have a difference of opinion. We do believe you have a right to have that opinion. We don't talk down the guests. We will entertain your opinion, but you might be challenged on it. Fair enough. Look at in the comments. Miss Mobetta mad because she done got, wait a minute. Miss Mobetta is mad, okay. She done got sent back in the mail. I don't quite get that in extra, but thank you for the super chat. You're saying Miss Mobetta is mad, but I don't get the rest of your comment. Okay, I do agree with her on that. Biden said, watch me. We have been watching, and we don't want him to be fired. Oh, my God. Trump is the only billionaire we'll ever have that's willing to risk his billions to save America. I agree with some of that. Free my grandma. First of all, he, up to this point, is probably the only billionaire we've ever had in office. In regards to him risking his billions, he damn sure is doing that, but I don't believe he expected to be risking his billions when he got elected. I think, in my humble opinion, maybe I'm wrong, feel free to state it in the comments, but if Trump could do it all over again, going all the way back to, say, 2014, I don't think he would run. I don't think he would do it. I don't think he's benefited by being president. I just don't see it, but maybe I'm wrong. All right, look at in the comments. The handler says, if she was a mail order bride. Oh, you said Miss Mobetta, a mail order bride. Well, I do agree in regards to Melania Trump. I don't personally believe, and once again, I'm sure there'll be dissenting opinion on this. I welcome criticism and critique in the comments, but I don't believe Michelle Obama. I don't believe Melania Trump, rather. I don't believe Melania Trump and Donald Trump got together out of love. We can call it a mail order bride or something like that, trophy wife, whatever. I don't believe it's a relationship that was created organically from love. Biden is lying to your face about inflation. How is that morally decent, says Jason Anderson. Bidenomics certainly was viewed as being less than Biden portrayed it. I don't know if that is morally decent lying to your face, then I'm going to use the argument you often hear from MAGA. They all do it because all politicians lie to your face. How many folks are telling me right now when Trump promised that he would give police immunity that he can't do that? So in other words, he's lying about it. Going back to the box, Miami luxury? Is that what I'm seeing? Felon for president, really? Could be. Miami, good afternoon.
What's up, handsome? How are you?
I'm doing good. Speaking of being down in Miami, now I know you're around a lot of Cubanos down there, but do you believe what Biden has done with immigration might help his Hispanic supporters?
Oh, absolutely not. He's getting crushed.
You don't think this will help him out with Hispanic voters at all?
No, zero. I think that the only Hispanic voters that he can account for are all the legal ones that are crossing the border.
Then why do you think he did it?
Did what?
Why would he grant so many undocumented immigrants a path towards residency if it doesn't help him out at all? What do you think he was doing it for?
Well, no, I think for the undocumented ones, the legal ones, sure, and that's what I'm pretty much talking about. Everybody that's legal, that's they're getting crushed. A lot of their jobs are being taken away. They're seeing what it's costing them from a tax basis. Somebody has to pay for all of this, right?
Yeah. Well, and based on the way you're putting it, that will make Biden look bad. So what you're saying is he did a favor to undocumented residents at no benefit to himself.
Well, I think that he's thinking that it may help him in the long run, but I feel like they're completely out of touch and they have no idea who their actual base is.
Well, his base is the Democratic Party, liberals, progressives.
Sure.
And you would admit that there's probably more Democrats among the Hispanic community than Republicans, right?
Maybe outside of Florida, but I think in South Florida especially, Hispanic Democratic voters are flocking to change their party affiliations.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's based on the label of being socialist that has been affixed to the Democratic Party, because in that area, obviously Cubanos escaped, Fidel Castro in his communist socialist government. Same thing with Venezuelans. They tend to vote right because they also escaped similar treatment with Hugo Chavez when he was alive down in Venezuela. So, Venezuelans and Cubanos among the Hispanic community, they tend to vote right, but most of the rest of them vote left. Everything from Mexicans to Ecuadorians to, Nicaraguans, all of them folks tend to vote left.
Yeah, no, I do agree with that, but I also think that especially a lot of legal Mexicans that are in Florida, West Beach, further north, a lot of them also understand what's going on, and they really understand the fact that undocumented illegal immigrants don't help them create the American dream that they came here for.
But this is what I have to wonder and have to ask, because most Hispanics either came here maybe illegally or they at least know somebody that did. Most Hispanic, because there's a lot of that throughout our history. Why would they get here through this method and then suddenly show hatred or disdain towards others that are trying the same way?
Yeah, I mean, look, I can't answer that question. And the reason that I can't answer that question is because my family originally immigrated from the former Soviet Union, and, we did it legally. So, I'm sure there's tons of illegal people coming from Russia, Ukraine right now.
Well, yeah, but not to the numbers of Hispanics. But that's what I'm saying is that most go ahead.
If you asked a Mexican that crossed the border legally, what their thoughts on illegal immigration are, I would bet that they would be pissed about it.
I don't know, because I look at it like this. If you went through this same plight yourself, or your mom, your grandma did, seem like you would be more sympathetic to somebody doing it through the same way. Because at the end of the day, most Hispanics know coming here legally is damn near impossible. So do you believe the Hispanic community that's in America, the ones that are here legally or got residency or natural born American citizens with Hispanic ancestry, all yelling, come here legally, knowing how difficult that process is?
No, of course not. And to say, somebody they would be crazy. Obviously, you're always going to have some sort of illegal immigration. It's impossible to completely nix that. But realistically, especially when we're in a situation where we're in today, where you're not vetting the tens of thousands of people that are crossing the border every day or every week. It's dangerous and unacceptable.
Yeah. So let me ask you now. You obviously are leaning right, correct?
I'm very in the middle, to be honest with you.
You're not MAGA.
No, I'm heavy MAGA just because I love Trump.
Okay.
But I'm very in the middle when it comes to policy. I think that socially, I'm very, I'd say, in the middle, but financially and fiscally, I'm very conservative.
Because I was going to say, I don't know if you can be very, strongly MAGA and in the middle simultaneously, because I'm just going to point out, abortion, the way it's being viewed under Trump, that's not anywhere near the middle. Neither is the Second Amendment. Neither is the stance on immigration, where he's saying I'm going to have a mass deportation and shut the border down completely, which he kind of tried to do during his first term. That's not in the middle. I would submit to you that I personally believe MAGA, unlike traditional Republicans, is probably more further to the right.
No, I agree. I mean, look,
okay.
I think, my stance on abortion is, I think that, this is probably an unpopular opinion, but
don't worry about that.
I think, yeah, well, I mean, I honestly, I don't care, but yeah, I think that abortion should be illegal, but there should be extenuating circumstance. Rape, the mother is, obviously,
in situations of distress. So let me ask you this question. Do you believe that a mom that does it, even though she's not in distress, maybe takes drugs, deliberately falls down a flight of stairs, uses a coat hanger or whatever the hell was being used, do you believe she should be criminalized? Do you believe because she violated the law, do you believe she should be punished criminally?
I think that is in itself the same thing as committing murder, right? I think that once that egg is fertilized, it doesn't matter what anybody says. That is a living thing, right? And that you're not giving that embryo or that living being, you're not giving it the opportunity to live. And I think that's the point, is that you're cutting its life short.
So you are agreeing then that if she has an abortion that is outlawed, that is equivalent of committing an act of murder?
I think so. Yeah, I think that's right.
Would you be okay with charging her as such?
I mean, it depends, right? I mean, that
what does it depend on? If a woman is pregnant,
I think it depends on it. Really, I don't think it's the same thing as committing a physical murder, and it also depends, like you said, what if she was, on drugs?
No. Hear me out. Let's say, for instance, she is with someone and they break up. So she no longer is in a relationship with the dad. She does not want to keep the child. Maybe she's 3-4 months along, and she deliberately takes drugs with the specific intent to terminate her pregnancy. Would you be okay with charging her with the act of murder?
I mean, wouldn't it be easier just to give that baby up for adoption?
I'm asking you the question about what happened. Obviously, there's always alternatives.
I do. I think that at that point, she's going to catch a case. But I also think, in order not to catch a case, wouldn't it be easier just to give that baby up for adoption?
Everyone in prison right now, as we speak, had an easier option. I get your point. It would be easier to go out and get a job than rob a bank. I understand that.
Agreed.
But at the end of the day, people are going to commit crimes. You're saying in regards to the act of abortion, women should qualify if they violate that law as being a murderer.
I do. Okay. So, but there's obviously a prerequisite to that, right? The state needs to agree, right? I think that it depends on your state, and that's what it really comes down to, is the people of that state come together, they make a decision that is the law of the land, and that is what they need to agree to and adhere to.
Let me ask you to you this way. Let me ask you, because Moogly, thank you for the super chat. Moogly says, so the caller is against the pill. Are you against, like, say, the morning after pill, which could actually take the life of a baby that's been conceived. I mean, the day after she knows she's had unprotected sex, so she takes the morning after pill, which could literally terminate a baby.
Yeah, I think that, like, in my opinion, I think that's okay.
Why? Isn't it murder at the conception?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's after conception, because I would kind of tread on that line very carefully, right?
Okay, well let's go down this before we. I know it's off topic a little bit, but I want to find out from you. At what point after conception is it murder? You just said you're okay with the morning after, so at what point are you now saying from this point on it's murder?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not a scientist. I sell luxury real estate, right? So for me, it's
I love it. Keep going. In Miami, you're not doing bad, by the way, but keep going.
No, we're doing really well.
Right.
Anything, look me up, Glenn Perbeck on Instagram. But look, honestly, I would say that, look, I think for me, conception is you guys had sex. I don't personally think that baby the next day is a baby. I think that there's, you have a margin of error.
A margin of error with a human life, but the evangelicals just spit their coffee out. What are you saying?
Look, like I said, I sell real estate. I'm not into the whole science.
I get it.
I think that there is a very fine line. I think that the day after, I'm okay with that. That's fine. Somebody made a mistake. No big deal. It is what it is. But I think that once that egg is fertilized and there's an actual viable birth, I think that's when you start getting
once the egg is fertilized and it's a viable birth, you're in the late term category at that point, probably 5 or 6 months down the road.
No, I'm talking about within the first, within the first week, 2 weeks.
There's no way in hell you could know if it's a viable birth in the first week like that. There's no way to know.
I mean, not a viable birth in terms of you're going 9 months and gonna have a kid. I'm saying, that egg is fertilized. You're pregnant. You're having a kid.
Right. Luxury.
You think you're having a kid.
Luxury real estate, you say, right?
Luxury real estate.
All right. I gotta move it on. Appreciate you coming through, man.
Of course, you got it.
Come on back anytime. Appreciate it. Moving the program on. Send this guest to Alcatraz. You guys are awful. Be nice to the guests, folks. By the way, I'm having a hell of a time getting many of you to tap the screen. Wow. Certainly helps out the algorithm. We should probably have 200-300 more people in here, but the participation on the tapping today. Is it hot in your area as well? Maybe your thumbs are sweating. Maybe that's what it is, but I do appreciate the few of you that are here for hanging on. Thank you, folks that are tapping the screen, and certainly on YouTube. I appreciate the likes. Looking in the comments, personally, I feel birth control is needed and abortion should be only an option if carrying to term threatens the mother's life. I keep bringing up the statement of, show me some type of at least proposed legislation that's designed to handle all of these unwanted babies now being brought to term. Because fact is, if she's telling you the moment she got pregnant she doesn't want the baby, expecting her to become mother of the year 9 months down the road is not going to be a good outcome. It's very similar to dads. Woman gets pregnant, the dad is telling her that I don't think we should keep it, and the mom it's my body, my choice. And then all of a sudden when the baby is born, she's questioning, well, why you don't come around and take care of your kid? If a person tells you on the first day they don't want the kid, and then when the child is born, you're expecting something different, that just shows a lack of being willing to listen. So I will submit to you that, listen, there are people who are out there that want to adopt children. Not this many of them, no. Not this many of them. And we have about 750,000, let's say about 500,000, I think I've read on the conservative estimate, about 500,000, liberal estimate to about 1 million abortions in America per year. Anywhere from 500,000 to 1 million abortions per year. Take that number and imagine 12 states, for the most part, making it almost impossible to get an abortion. Around 12 states, some of these states got 6-week abortion bans, heartbeat bills, things that are so difficult most moms don't even know they're pregnant by the time is expired. So we're talking out of that 500,000 to 1 million abortions, at least 100,000 kids probably are going to be popping out now that normally would not have been popping out. Could be way more than that. I don't hear any proposed legislation on how we're going to help out with those kids. It's just the mom should be more responsible. If not, hey, pull yourself up and your baby up. Perhaps buy their onesie. Going back to the comment section, though, or better yet, the box, we'll go straight to user 919. Good afternoon. Imagine how many grapes cases. Yeah, there's going to be some of that in there as well. And by the way, I've heard of cases where now the dad who might have sexually abused a woman can show up and demand parental rights. I hope that's false. User 919, the box is acting a bit funny. We'll give it a moment. Charlie Kirk, elaborate. The name sounds familiar. What about Charlie Kirk? Is that the guy that's I want to say supremacist? Charlie Kirk. I know I've heard the name. Somebody asked me about Trump and Charlie Kirk. If they are properly punished, the man who assaults the woman or child, let's start there. I don't know if you're going to see that, though, because as James Brown would say, this is a man's world. These laws are coming from a standpoint of being pro-man, pro-life. I don't think there's any concern over the woman. Certainly in areas where they don't give a damn about the life or if the woman is violated sexually. You can't say, I don't care about you any more than that. If your life is at risk and they say you're going to have a baby anyway, I think that's about as strong of a message of I don't care about you. I only care about the baby inside of you as you can get. I mean, even if you're going to die, I want the baby. What did Drago say? Standing over Carl Weathers in Rocky IV. If he dies, he dies. The box is problematic today. And with you guys not tapping the screen, that ain't helping. But let me try it again. I'm trying to bring up guests. Texas is a mess, man. I don't know about Texas being a mess. A hell of a lot of people are moving to Texas. They're moving out of some of the liberal areas. Chicago's population is dropping. California's population is dropping. New York, dropping. Texas, Florida, increasing, rising. So I don't know if I'd say it's a mess. A lot of people are realizing rather, that these might be better areas to be in. So I don't know if I'd agree with that. That's not true. Medical exceptions are always there. Nobody opposes that. The problem is they call financial stress a medical condition. That is absolutely something I would disagree with you on. I think that says rate of gas. I would bring up the story of Kate Cox. The liberals went wild with it. Kate Cox is a 31-year-old whose child had a chromosome disorder, 95% chance the baby would not survive, and it posed a risk to her own health. She was in Texas, and they would not let her have an abortion. It was all over the news earlier this year. She had to leave the state to have an abortion. So the idea that medical exceptions are always there, I don't totally agree with that. I don't agree with that at all. Continuing on with the program. Now, I'm in Florida, and most of the Northerners that moved here are leaving. They may be coming, but not. Well, it's expensive as hell. Florida's now become one of the most expensive states to live in because so many people has come there. But I don't know. Medical terminations are allowed if the mother is in danger. Well, I'm going to bring up Texas with Kate Cox. I don't think that was the case. Going back to the box, Stick the Ruler. Good afternoon. Welcome to the program. If the box allows me to bring you up.
Hey, what's going on, Hansel?
Not much at all. We're talking about, we'll start out with the Trump quote. You know, he went to a black church down in Detroit, and he stated that blacks are coming up to him saying, we want protection. We want police to protect us. We don't want to get robbed and mugged and beat up or killed because we want to walk across the street to buy a loaf of bread. Does that sound legit?
You know it don't sound legit. It sounds like what the other caller said. He lies every time he opens his mouth. That's what it sounds like.
I don't know about he lies every time. You really think he's that dishonest?
Put it this way. He said that about Milwaukee. Was who you said he said about?
No, this was in Detroit, but we know he said Milwaukee is a horrible city too.
Okay. So He shows up in New York in what was it? It wasn't the Bronx. What was it that he went in New York?
He went to the Bronx.
Supposed to had 100. Okay, he went to the Bronx.
Right.
So you're not scared of the Bronx, but you're scared of people in Detroit, and people in Detroit are telling you that it's so bad that they can't go get a loaf of bread from the store.
Yeah.
Now come on, handsome.
But let me ask you. Go ahead.
But does anybody in Detroit look like they ain't had a sandwich? Just being honest.
Well, they've had a sandwich.
Tell me the truth.
They've had a sandwich, but what he's saying is that they wanted to be safe to go get that sandwich.
Man, they're safe. Matter of fact, in Detroit, I haven't heard since maybe early 2000s anything about Detroit other than they have a lot of abandoned buildings.
Yeah, they had a
So
lot.
he's in really, if you see, so what he needs to do is stick to what he knows and go try to buy up those gentrificated houses and make some money, because right now he's broke as a joke. So
You really think Trump is broke?
Man, he's broke for who he is. He's not 17 billion strong. He's not 2 billion strong.
Yeah. I don't think Trump was ever. Yeah, I don't think Trump was ever 15. But he came down the escalator and said he's worth 15 billion. I don't think that was ever accurate.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. In regards to what you just stated, you mentioned Trump going to the Bronx. This quote is from Trump going to Detroit. We talked about him calling Milwaukee horrible. Let's come out and admit something that makes Trump at least look admirable. He is going to black towns and reaching out to the people. Does he not get credit for that?
No.
How is that fair?
I don't give him no. No. It's not about being fair. Trump ain't fair. Trump ain't telling the truth. Trump will tell you, I had the lowest unemployment in especially in the black community in history. It was 5.8, and then he won't tell you. Now, it may be the truth in his administration, but it's not the lowest. Joe Biden has the lowest at 4.8. So at the end of the day, he lied.
Yeah, but you got Biden telling people that his family members were eaten by cannibals and shit. I mean, they all lie, right?
Yeah, I'll give you that. They all lie, and that was funny. That was funny. They what was it? New Guinea, correct?
It was New Guinea. Yeah,
New Guinea. I'll give you that. But at the end of the day, I'll double down with 100 things that Trump has said, and I don't have to really go over them. You can think in your mind what he said yesterday, and it was probably a lie or it was probably outrageous.
Well, you've kind of made history a little bit with one of my viewers, because it's the first time I've ever seen him say this about a man. But Stick the Ruler Gen X on YouTube says you are a closet sandwich maker that belongs in the kitchen. What?
Well,
it's a super chat. I gotta read it, but go ahead.
I'll tell Gen X this. You're Gen X. I'm from I was born in the 70s. I'm not Gen X. You feel me? So at the end of the day,
wait. So you might be. When is Gen X? You might be in that era.
Guess what? I don't consider myself Gen X. I really don't, because only a young fool would think like that. At the end of the day, I'm way mature than Trump. I'm way mature than Gen X. And Gen X, it sounds like to me, you hungry, homie. Just go buy you some bologna, get you some cheese, and make you a sandwich. Because apparently you ain't got no woman to do it for you.
Oh my God.
You too hungry, my friend. You too thirsty. You need get you a Mountain Dew. And go out there on your neighborhood stroll and find you a woman, man. You really do, and have her make you a sandwich, please.
Oh my God! All right, Stick the Ruler. I think you handled that pretty damn well. Appreciate you coming through as always. Good talk.
Hey, good talk, handsome. Have a good one.
It's a pleasure. By the way, folks, tap the screen. Get the likes on it. Wow, some of you folks have been certainly participating at this point. Certainly brought the numbers up, 700 plus of you in here. I thank you folks that have been participating on tapping the screen. Same thing on YouTube. Smash the like button, the top 3 dots. top of your screen will allow you to access that and get the likes up to about 60. Try living in the present. Caller, in regards to my last caller, Kareem says try living in the present. However, if you don't good, how are you gonna recognize? If you don't God, I don't quite get that, but I guess you're trying to say try living in the present. But if you don't recognize, I don't know. Your comment is, I'm trying to work with it, but it's too difficult to interpret. Trump called his doctor by the wrong name while talking about Biden's cognitive decline. Damn. And I will say, I do agree that Biden looks sloppy on television, looks like he is in cognitive decline. I'm not going to say he might not be, but I also believe that there is some AI or some imaging being done behind the scenes to make him look worse. And I will also state that there's plenty of evidence that Trump is in cognitive decline as well. Maybe it's not as bad as Biden. Maybe the media is not making him look as bad as Biden, whatever, you take your pick, but he certainly is mixing and matching and saying the wrong things. You know, how many times has he confused Nikki Haley with, I'm fucked up on that. But we know Nancy Pelosi. He confused Nikki Haley with Nancy Pelosi several times. He talked about defending airports during the Civil War, which is 100 years before the invention of the airplane. Trump has done stuff too. Hell, I just did it. So maybe it ain't got nothing to do with cognitive decline. And then again, maybe I'm in cognitive decline. Shit, let me go back to the box to talk to some folks that maybe sound a little bit more enlightening. Tap the screen, get the likes on up to about 90,000. Continuing on, we'll open the box up to Jay Fire. Good afternoon, Jay Fire. Biden letting in 100,000 or high as 1 million undocumented immigrants. Do you think he's doing it for votes? Is he pandering to the Hispanic community? Alter ego, yeah! Thank you for the hat and mustache. Jay Fire, good afternoon.
Hello?
Hey, can you hear me?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Biden letting as many as 1 million undocumented residents stay in this country. What say you?
It's a problem that's been going on for way too long. All the presidents had to deal with it. Mm-hmm. And until they get some kind of congressional solution, you're going to keep having these problems. And I think the reason they want to keep having these problems, because it's a hell of a voting issue. It's something to go to the people with and complain about and say that you're going to fix one way or the other when you really can't do shit about it until the Congress gets their act together.
So you believe Biden is doing it to pander to the Hispanic community for votes?
No, I don't believe he's
You just said it.
No, I'm saying you can't fix it. I said it's been a problem forever. This has been a problem for 25, 30 years.
Isn't it Biden's job to fix it?
He can't fix it.
He just passed an executive order. Any idea why he didn't do that 2-3 years ago?
You know what I believe? I believe he was trying to be softer than Trump on immigration because of the family separation plan. I guess he felt like them people caught hell for the past 2 years. So I don't know. Maybe he was trying to find a heart or something to deal with this issue. But look how many undocumented we got here that been here for 20 years, then went to school, in the army and all that, and they still are not citizens.
Yeah, that's a whole different.
Still not citizens.
Yeah, that's a whole different issue, and that's wrong. But you talked about maybe Biden had a heart. Can you fix this problem, being having a heart and being so conscious like that?
No, I think Congress has to fix the problem, and I think he was too late on. Like you said, he's 2 years too late in addressing this shit. But you can't come up with a solution and then you have the orange man come in and kill it.
Yeah. But what I'm hearing, if you're saying you can't do it with a heart and you need to be solid on this, perhaps Trump is the one that needs to be reelected. When it comes to handling the border on that issue alone, who do you think would be better, Trump or Biden, on the border issue alone?
I don't think what Trump did was handle anything. You didn't handle nothing. What did he handle? What did he handle? He separated. He shipped people in buses to certain states and dropped them off. That's not handling it. You send all these people to New York, you drop them off in the middle of the night.
Well, that wasn't Trump. Yeah, that was Governor DeSantis and Texas Governor Greg Abbott that shipped them up north. That wasn't Trump.
Well, that was going on when Trump was in office. That's when it started. How did the families get separated?
They
weren't shipping these people to.
They were not shipping immigrants up north during the Trump administration.
How did the people get separated from their families then?
Well,
if these people weren't being shipped, how was these families being separated?
Because when they came in the country illegally, they would be captured. Just like if you go out and rob a bank with your kid with you, they're going to separate you from your kid. They were caught in the commission of a crime, so they're going to put the adult assailant in an adult container or containment system, and then your kid goes off to foster care somewhere. That's what was happening.
Okay, but these kids were found in other states, hundreds of miles away.
This is
what I'm saying. Like, okay, if you're in the foster system, like you're in Florida, okay, well maybe you're a town over where the kids are at, but you're not in Florida and your kid is in Seattle or Jersey or New York. That's why it took forever. Listen, this is why it took forever when the Biden administration came in to try to find some of these people. These people were all over the place.
Well,
the children were all over the place.
Yeah, but let's be clear that Trump's whole purpose of securing the border is to make it as awful as possible for those who enter illegally. So you might lose your kid. Don't break the law. That's his stance.
Right, but you know why I can't believe in Trump? Because all Trump has done with all his businesses, I'm up here in Jersey. I was at the Taj Mahal. All he had was illegal Mexicans working in his restaurants and in his hotels. That's what he had on his golf course in Jersey. It was a bunch of illegals. Wow. So he's just pandering to the base. Trump could give two shits about somebody being illegal because he like you illegal. The more illegal you are, the better times he can screw you over and know you have no rights and can't complain about nothing.
I agree Trump is a businessman and he likes to make money, but I got to say the man campaigned on securing the border. That's been a big focal point for him. I don't know if I totally agree with you on that.
He campaigned on building the wall, too. You're still waiting for it to go up, right?
Yeah, but you do know if Trump had his way, that wall would have went up.
Yeah, and Mexico was going to pay for it too, right?
I don't know about that part. That part I got to disagree with.
I'm just saying, the man sells a bill of goods, and he's a good salesman. He's a used car salesman.
Okay, I want to present something to you, Jay Fire. This is off topic a bit. It's about Biden. But I saw it in the comments. I'm going to let you take it any way you can, any way you want. You know we don't censor. But I want you to hear this comment. This came from V Pirate on YouTube. He says, we don't even talk about how Biden started dating his wife when she was under 18 and how he would shower with his own daughter and touch on her. Do you see Biden is doing this stuff? Jay Fox.
Where's its facts coming from? I've never heard of it.
You're breaking.
I've never heard of that. So I don't like if it's true. I've heard of it.
You're breaking up so bad.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to move it on, Jay Fire. Your signal's breaking up real bad. I've never heard of that either. I heard partially what he was saying.
Okay.
I've never heard that either. That what did he say? Started dating his wife when she was under 18. Now let me tackle that first of all. Biden would be born in what, the late 1930s sometime. I mean, he is, what is he, 80 some odd years of age, 81 or whatever. So he'd have been born in the late 1930s. If I'm correct, Elvis, didn't he date somebody that was under? I'm not trying to defend any pedo by any stretch of the imagination, but I believe that was actually fairly common back then. Was he born in somebody said 1941, 1941? Really? Okay, all right. But yeah, I believe that was actually kind of common back then to date folk, because I guess mentioned, I brought up Elvis. Didn't Elvis have a lover or girlfriend or somebody that was underage? So I don't think that was even unique to Biden, even though, yeah, I don't support it. Somebody said he was born in 1800. Oh my God, don't bring Elvis into this, says Elvis Andrew Jackson. I love it. Sorry, Elvis, but your rock star by the same name was dating younger folks. Re-election, convicted rapists making women's laws. That's a hell of a contradiction in terms there. Mr. points out that if Trump wins the election, we could have a convicted rapist. Trump hasn't been convicted of rape. He was found liable of E. Jean Carroll's sexual assault claims, but he has not been convicted of rape. But the comment says convicted of rape making women's laws. Thank you, Mr. Splankaville, for the super chat. But he has not been convicted. He hasn't been found guilty in a criminal court of law due to the statute of limitations, in my opinion. I think that's what it is. Trump is innocent. Duh, it's a witch hunt. Constitution or republic, you'd have to present some evidence that all of that is a witch hunt. Now that Trump has pretty much been able to delay several of the cases, like Fonnie Willis, I think Jack Smith's going to have cases delayed because of how they played with the immunity claims and things like that. There's no way to say Trump is innocent or not. He hasn't had his day in court. Just like Trump deserves his day in court to prove he's innocent, the prosecutor deserves his day in court to prove his case as well. But we have been able to silence the prosecutor. Fonnie Willis and Jack Smith aren't going to have their say on this. So he might be guilty. I don't know. I'd have to hear what's coming out in court. I'm not going to convict him or exonerate him before hearing the actual evidence. Going back to the box, and the 34 felonies, he was certainly convicted of that. Took my subscriber, Top Dog. Good afternoon. Well, there goes that one. I don't know why the box is acting so problematic. Big Dog. Yeah. Thank you for the hat and mustache. Tap the screen, folks. 700 plus of you in here. Go ahead and make that 100,000 happen. We'll go straight to Twin Mom. Good afternoon. Welcome to the program. Twin Mom. How can I not be embarrassed to have a twice impeached felon president? Don't you have no pride? A lot of folks believe the felonies are all made up. But yeah, to the rest of the world, America having a president that has 34 felonies will probably be something worthy of discussion. And I don't believe the rest of the world thinks they're all a witch hunt. Twin Mom, good afternoon.
Hello. Can you hear me? Yeah, I usually don't get on these. I just listen to them.
What inspired you to come by here today? I'd like to hear it.
Well, before I became president, not Trump, The Apprentice. The Apprentice.